Hello, and welcome to The Redeemables, the podcast where we take movies that scored less than 50 on Metacritic, and we decide collectively whether to redeem them or whether to nail them to the cross. I'm BJ, and I'm here with the first recorded human to use the acronym LOL, Kenny.
I wasn't.
And the man who taught Liam Neeson his particular set of skills, Duff.
How to turn A grade and slowly slip into B grade.
These are very particular
And then-
skills.
Yep.
To hunt wolves. Hunt wolves.
I was thinking Hunt and Wolves.
Nah, I was thinking the B grade thing.
Yeah, he was thinking about
First and foremost.
his movie life.
Tonight we're doing Pitch Black.
He's dead. Captain's dead.
Dropping 20 MB per minute.
You'll have 70 seconds to level this beast out.
They were the only survivors on a barren planet with a deadly prisoner intent on escape.
All you people are so scared of me.
But when darkness fell,
Total eclipse.
he was the only one deadly enough to fight this kind of evil.
But it ain't me you gotta worry about now.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
In the year 2000.
No.
Yeah.
I watched Pitch Perfect. I have not. Oh, thank God I didn't do any notes, but I think I can remember Pitch
How'd you
Black.
find Pitch Perfect?
On Stan, believe it or not.
No. How'd you find the movie? Like, did you enjoy it?
I love
Not
it.
as
Oh,
in-
fucking Pitch Perfect, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Top 20 for me.
You
Yeah.
guys keep talking while I cross out my Pitch Perfect joke that was on page 2. Thanks, Duff. That was, yep.
If anyone hasn't seen Pitch Perfect, give it a go.
I've seen it kind of.
What do you mean, kind
It's
of?
been on in a room that I was in.
Oh,
While I was doing my Legos.
I was complicit, but
I wasn't watching it per se, but I am a big Adam Devine guy.
I'm
So,
huge
yeah.
Adam Devine guy.
I've never heard of him.
Workaholics, baby. Anyway,
I know who he is.
enough about that.
Enough Pitch Perfect. That's actually way too much Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Pitch Perfect.
It's probably like an 89 in Metacritic, so
It probably is.
this is the only time we'll ever get to talk about it.
I'm not upset about that. This one is a movie that came out in the year 2000, directed by David Twohy.
Tui, yeah.
Twohy?
Love
Do we get a
tweet.
spell check on that?
Twoohy.
Yeah.
Dewey.
Twohy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the guy to ask.
Happy with that?
Yep. And written by himself, Twohy, and the brothers Ken and Jim Wheat.
A written and direct. Love
Yeah,
that.
I love a
yeah.
written and direct.
Love
Oh.
a written and direct.
Feel a bit more emotional about your own work. but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bit more on that.
Okay.
Dave
Good.
might be your guy.
Okay. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
Dave is my guy. I love his movies.
I do know him. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know his
How is he
full-
these days?
He's well. I had a coffee with him last Sunday.
Yeah.
He's doing another Riddick film.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Should be good.
Of course he is.
He had a black coffee and you had a baby chino, I believe.
I had a Milo.
Had a Milo and a blueberry muffin.
This movie stars Vin Diesel.
Yes, it does.
Mm-hmm. Heard of him? Rada
Do you
Mitchell.
guys know that I'm a pretty big Vin Diesel guy? Have I made
yes.
that clear by now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not many
okay.
people know this, but Ken used to have a snake, and the snake was called Vin Diesel.
True story.
is true.
I had a pet python named Vin Diesel.
I don't have a picture as a python guy.
Yeah, I had a pet python.
Go
you know-
fuck your snake, Steve.
Do you know what? I often, and sorry to anyone who's going to be offended, but I often assumed that people who owned reptiles had, like, it was a substitute for personality.
Is it
Like,
not?
I'm bored.
Why, have I changed your mind on
I
that?
know, I reckon you were right.
Oh,
I
thanks.
reckon you were right.
Thanks.
Yeah. More of a lizard guy. Skink? I kind of imagined you was a skink guy. Skink called Herbert. Stars Vin Diesel, Rada Mitchell, and Cole Hauser.
You know how I feel about Cole?
Yeah.
Not,
Yeah.
Do you guys know I'm a big Cole guy?
Yeah, we brought it up in the, was it Olympus Has Fallen?
Yes.
He got a good shout out, yeah.
Yeah, he's brought it up in every episode. We just edited it out most of the time. But like, that is not relevant to this movie, Dove. There's other people in it, but they are the stars. So we're going there. Our Metacritic score, obviously our threshold is 50. I was pretty stoked to discover that Pitch Black is 49.
Ooh, right on there.
by that much.
Okay.
Yeah, so we just snuck
Interesting,
in. Yeah. User score, 8.8.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wow.
Yep.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Shit.
This is a theme for us, though, with these movies that don't do too well initially, but develop a bit of a cult following
Definitely
afterwards.
a cult movie. This
So-
one.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think so, yeah.
I was actually surprised when I started looking into it. I thought, you think you're the only person who really likes this movie, and then they discover other people are into it. And you're
Yeah.
like,
They wouldn't
I
have
should-
made a whole trilogy if it wasn't big.
Pitch
Popular,
Perfect.
yeah.
They made more than one Pitch Perfect
Yeah.
movie.
3. It's very big.
I refer you back to Pitch Perfect. Yeah.
I also find with Pitch Black that it's one of those ones that everyone's seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though it's like it wasn't a huge release and it's 22 years old, but you can ask a 19-year-old and they've seen it.
Yeah.
So how the fuck? Why are you watching 22-year-old movies for? That are kind of like not big budget, or it's because it's a cult movie.
Yeah.
It's got a cult following. Yeah,
I think you're right.
yeah, and probably Vin Diesel. Like
I was
people
about
want
to
to go
say,
back
yeah,
and
Vin Diesel.
celebrate his work.
I think it's available on all streaming devices apart from Netflix, Disney, and Prime.
It's done. It's definitely done the rounds.
Yeah,
it's
it's
popped
been
up
on
on
it.
I didn't have to pay for this one this
me
week.
neither.
So.
Felt
Pitch
good.
Black. Also, a clear memory. It was a big TV movie.
Right.
One of the stations, Terminator 2 was on every Sunday
Mm-hmm.
night for a long time there. Pitch
Best
Black
time of
had it.
life.
Pitch Black had its run.
Right.
I want to say Channel 9 had it, and they really ran it hard for a couple of years. It was not the one on at 7:30 or 8:30. It was the one on after that.
Right.
Yeah,
10:30 flick.
yeah, it got a good run.
It's a good 10:30
Yeah,
flick.
yeah. I'm going back early 2000s here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when it was fairly new. Yeah.
I was actually surprised that it was 2000. I think we were spitballing last week and we said maybe like 2010 or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think I said about 05, 06. Yeah, I was thrown.
Once again, I've got no concept of time.
Yeah.
That's been a theme.
Well, 94 to 2011 is basically 1 year for me.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Same. Yeah. Would you like to know the Wikipedia?
I would.
If it's like last week, no.
I don't. Yeah. The shortened version, please.
I'm not making any promises. I did, believe it or not, I did shorten it because I'm a little bit over the big long ones with all the superfluous details, but settle in anyway because it's a couple of paragraphs. Pitch Black is a 2000 American science fiction action horror film directed by David Toohey, co-written by Toohey and brothers Ken and Jim Wheat, from a story conceived by the latter about a dangerous criminal, Richard B. Riddick, who is being transported to prison in a spacecraft. When the spacecraft is damaged by comet debris and makes an emergency crash landing on an empty desert planet, Riddick escapes. However, when predatory alien creatures begin attacking the survivors, Riddick joins forces with the surviving crew and other passengers to develop a plan to escape the planet.
Sorry, can we talk about your comet debris?
Yeah, thank
And
you.
I thought you were naming a comet.
Comet
Comet Deborah.
That's
Oh, no, you meant comet debris.
debris.
Debris, yeah.
It's the Queen's English.
Okay,
Ken.
sorry.
What are you guys? Are you a debris guy or what?
I call it Debray.
Debris?
Just the way you said it. I thought
Okay.
it was an actual comet named Deborah.
All right, I've much like the spacecraft. I've been shot down in flames. Okay.
That was a good wiki review.
Yeah, no, thanks. Yeah, I didn't write that bit. I just read it, and you bagged that shit.
Can you redo it? Because I wasn't listening.
No. You know what it said on the poster?
Go on.
Fight evil with evil.
There was so much more they could have done.
Yeah.
They could have actually used any piece of Vin Diesel's dialogue throughout the entire film and made that the tagline.
Yeah.
Any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, the motherfucker didn't know who he was messing with.
Not afraid of the dark, are you?
Send a maniac to kill a maniac? Is this
Yeah, same pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a great one.
No, it's not good at
No.
all.
Fight evil with evil.
you
Is
gotta-
he evil?
Well,
But are we not going to bring something in about sci-fi or space or not aliens, but bugs or whatever? Like just
Darkness?
something. Darkness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the movie's
Are
Real
you
missed
afraid of the
opportunity.
dark? You will be.
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
you missed your calling, Duff.
right off my chest.
Advertising. You're a
Anything.
real madman. Budget.
Mm.
So this is, I reckon most people know this, is it's not a big budget flick, right? Like going into this.
It doesn't look like it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it coming out at the time, and one of the things about it was they were saying that it was not necessarily a big budget flick.
Yeah.
23 million.
That's pretty
That's
good.
all. Shit, they did well with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I? Sorry if you're going to get to this. Was it shot in Australia?
It was.
Okay.
A lot of
Obviously
Australian
actors, but then
Yeah.
like the Australian actors are kind of there for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe they're just Australian actors in Hollywood or wherever it was shot.
No,
actually shot in
mainly
Australia.
an Aussie production.
There you go.
Interestingly enough, it comes up quite often in articles I read as being referred to as a B movie.
Disagree.
Yeah, it's got some traces. It's
Yeah.
got some elements of a B movie.
Well, I got into I went down a rabbit hole of what is a B movie and is it to do with the quality or the budget or whatever.
Yep.
And there does seem to be like tiers, like in the game, in the industry or whatever, that qualify it, like micro budget, small budget, B movie, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So they were only talking about the budget in that regard.
Okay, because it does have some B movie tropes in
Yeah.
terms of like the actual the plot,
Yeah.
cliche characters, like that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's all very like box check for that genre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very simple setup. Very
And I'm
simple
not saying
narrative.
that negatively.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, I've got that down as one of the positives,
Yeah,
is the way that
absolutely.
they actually managed to
Yeah,
use those tropes so well.
Mm.
Take a shot at the GBO. Kenny.
First question, was cinema released?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So no one really knew who Vin Diesel was yet.
Was this
He'd only done one
before
film.
Fast and
It was
Furious?
before.
Yeah, this
And
is
after Saving Private Ryan?
Yes.
Yeah, but no one knew him in Saving Private.
I did.
Ryan. He had like 4
Capazzo.
lines. Yeah.
Normal people
Um,
didn't notice
yeah,
and stuff.
okay.
You're a sicko.
He had Boiler Room before this, which I don't think would have been cinema. I want to say probably not heaps, maybe 35, 40 mil.
Stuff.
What was the budget?
23 million.
Yeah, I'd just double it, 50.
There you go.
Stuff this time to 53.5 million.
Ew.
That sits
Yeah.
about right with me.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out,
That's pretty good. That's a good return.
I think that
considering-
fantastic
Yeah,
return.
yeah. And it's a genre movie.
Yes.
Like it's a sci-fi horror type thing.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then
They were big back then, though, Event Horizon, stuff like that. People
Sure.
wanted it.
Yeah.
People wanted
This
that
is true,
kind of
But
yeah.
then there's no one recognisable in the cast. The
Not even Hugo
director,
Weaving.
despite his work, probably wasn't a household name.
No,
There's not a lot of draw cut. It must have been a fucking good trailer.
it wasn't. Certainly wasn't the poster.
No, it wasn't the
No.
I've not seen the trailer, actually. Should have watched it before.
I really should start doing that.
Yeah, maybe I'll start doing that.
Yeah.
And watching the correct movie as well.
Yeah, that helps.
I'd like to point out that I cross-reference these figures because IMDb hasn't been the source of correct information that we really wanted it to
Do you
be.
want to
I'll take
bring
it
it up?
from here.
Yes.
Last week I said Demolition Man was a box office flop. It made 58 million.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the misinformation
Oh, no.
given to me, I was completely wrong.
Fake news. Fake news.
I believe the budget for last week was 100 million plus.
100. So it's a 57 mil budget, but it did global GBO. It was 157.
So, Paul, William Sharp Duff would like to apologise to all our listeners.
Full
out
name
there.
as well. He wants the.
I just want everyone to realise I've got 4 names. Pretty good.
Well, now they're going to find you easily and harass you for being wrong on a podcast.
That's fine. Meet me outside. So I'd like to apologise to everyone. You know me when I do my notes; they're not thorough.
Yeah.
And this one, I just seen a number, wrote it down, ran with
To
it.
be fair, it was from IMDb.
It was
right?
from
Which,
IMDb.
which is what we
It
had
was,
been using.
yeah.
We had become a little sceptical of those figures. We now know IMDb is full of lies.
Yeah. So for last week, I'm sorry. For this week, I'm not.
So join our email campaign.
Yeah, I'll accept the apology, but I am also asking you to be better moving forward.
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
I can't promise anything like that. That's
All right,
crazy.
That's fine.
My
move
notes. My notes.
I like the way that you shared your vulnerability, and I think your feelings are valid.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right.
So what happens when
Now
I
let's
don't
not
wear
make any
pants?
mistakes moving forward, okay, guys?
Oh yeah, that'll never happen. So 53.5 million gets you a couple of sequels, right?
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah, but the people liked it. Did the critics like it? That's why we're here. Do you want to hear some critics?
I'd love to.
Right, got a couple. I got Jamie Bernard from the New York Daily News.
Yeah.
It has a distinctive look, but a few too many recycled ideas. Better luck on the next crash landing. 30.
Oh.
Like,
I like how he's tied in the crash landing thing.
Are you
Yeah.
clever?
Yeah,
at least
yeah,
he
that's
watched
good.
it, I guess.
Yeah, you did watch it.
That's a positive.
All right.
Milton Kent from the Baltimore Sun.
Oh, fucking... I don't know who Milton Kent is, but I don't like
He's
it.
someone Duff would have given a wedgie at high school for sure.
Definitely.
He says, a gigantic mess. 30.
That's
I
wrong.
don't think it was gigantic at
I
all.
was about to say,
Yeah.
it was pretty
I
understated.
don't
Yeah.
think it was a mess either.
Yeah. You're wrong, Milt.
It was pretty well put together.
I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of things
Yeah, sure.
we can discuss
But
later
it wasn't
on.
a mess.
No,
it wasn't
mess,
a gigantic mess.
is overly
Yeah, yeah,
harsh.
yeah, yeah.
Milton's got some issues. He's
So
got-
there's definitely movies out there that are a mess. But this is I wouldn't put this in that category.
Milton's carrying some issues from high school, but I don't blame him. He was bullied relentlessly, apparently.
Milton Kent. I kind of want to bully him now, let alone high school.
Bob Stevens from the San Francisco Examiner said, this one I found confusing, you tell me. The sudden cranking of the volume that makes us jump, even if we're just watching a cow chew on its cud. 25.
What's a
Whoa,
cud?
what's it? Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
just
you.
to clarify. Cud, C-U-D, C-U-D.
Is that a farm term? I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
familiar with a
food
lot
for
of farms.
cows.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
What's who's writing this?
The guy from San Francisco, I don't know how many
Oh.
cows are chewing cud, you know, on the Embarcadero or whatever it is. But either way, he's still wrong, Bob. We've
Probably some cud.
actually got
So angry.
we got a 0.
That's
Shit.
impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's Okay.
From another guy called Bob from San Francisco.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Fucking couple of cut eaters down there, aren't they?
He's from the Chronicle. He's Bob Graham, and he says, this half-baked sci-fi horror film filled with jerky, washed-out, highlighted, blurred, and toned imagery is a tiresome experience. 0.
I like how he did another kind of cattle/beef reference with the jerky. Both Bobs from San Fran and both doing beef references. Okay.
Yeah, I used to like San Francisco, but going to forget it exists now. So this is the general discussion portion of the podcast.
Mm.
Would you like to share some thoughts? Would you like me to go first? Got some thoughts, Ken? I know you've got thoughts.
I have, yeah. I've always got thoughts.
Yeah.
Can I start from the start?
Please do.
Yeah, so the start of the movie, the crash landing.
Yep.
It was a bit jarring.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember it being that bad in terms of visual effects.
Yeah.
I was rattled. I was like, fuck. I probably watched this the last time maybe 10 years ago. I'd seen it quite a few times before.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it for a long time, though. And I never remembered having any thoughts about visual effects or anything like that. And then that opening kind of sequence, it's pretty bad.
I didn't have it.
I even for 2000, I was like, oh, this is a bit... And just some of the things that David Toohey tried.
The
like
editing?
with the stretching of the actual format of the film.
That stretchy bit I didn't like. I didn't mind the jump cuts. I'm actually
Jump cuts were okay, yeah.
Yeah, the eyeballs were a big thing. We like lots of close-ups of the eyeballs. I actually would go a bit further, just to go even to the very, very beginning.
Yeah.
There's something about a movie that starts in space with a spaceship cruising past that always stirs something in me, right?
Yeah,
so I love that bit. So I just want to get that out of the way. I love that.
Yep.
It's probably the Star Wars.
Yeah.
They're being inceptioned by Star Wars. But yeah, I actually found that what they were trying to do, I reckon, with the crash scene, and it worked for me, but despite, I did notice things you're saying, is build anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, it was anxious.
I was probably just too thrown by the screens that they were looking at with like the data of the spaceship on there and stuff. Oh, fuck, this looks pretty old. Yeah. They're traveling through space on a Commodore 64 screen. Like, this is wild.
I don't know why one of them's not awake, but that's another story, I guess.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, just leave someone awake.
I just love when the captain gets like commented. So,
Oh, yeah.
hearing that go into his system.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's the little things I enjoy.
Yeah, they're the little things that make it good writing as well. They pop up all the way through the movie, little bits like that.
It was one of those bits where I go, if it had more money and it was just 5 years later, then this would actually be a wicked scene.
Yeah, true.
They probably just didn't have the resources at the time to make it look really good and stylish. I think they tried with not enough money, maybe.
Possibly.
I think the start works well.
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It was a good intro to the movie. It was just the visual effects that bothered me. Yeah.
It definitely made me feel the level of anxiety. I think during that scene, though, one of the things that impressed me was that Rada Mitchell, who's Fry, I think her name is Fry.
Yeah.
Pretty cool in a crisis.
Very cool.
I'm not like that.
Was she cool?
She was.
She was dropping everyone.
No, but that's the thing. She was making calculated, pragmatic decisions. She was pretty
Kill
chill.
many to save the one.
Yeah. Oh, keep your powder dry. Keep that powder dry. But just the way she was operating that thing, she was flicking the switches and turning the knobs and stuff. She knew what she was doing.
I thought she didn't know what she was doing.
Really?
She's flicking switches. She doesn't know what they actually are. She's just like, oh, fuck, where's the captain?
Shit, we just lost a carriage full of
Should
people.
have slept during captain school.
Well, she wasn't the bloody captain. That's the thing. She watched him die with her very own eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I thought she was relatively cool in a crisis, and I think the fact that she had the decision to dump the innocent passengers straight away, that's the sort of thing that's giving you some more depth.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the really good writing throughout, I thought. Character writing.
It's a whole subplot for the whole movie, and it goes the whole distance of the whole movie, which is great.
Yeah. And I think a theme that comes up in this movie quite a few times, and something we can dig down into a little bit later, there's no clear line of delineation between good and bad in these people.
Yep.
You know, there's some good in some, there's some bad in others.
Yeah.
Aliens, the aliens mostly bad, okay?
Are they? They're just living on their islands. They're the aliens. The humans are the aliens.
Oh, shit.
These guys are just living.
She got meta all of a sudden. Give me a sec.
Yeah.
What are you up to, Bob? I'm just going to go outside
Well,
in the dark. It's the only time we get to go outside, Bob. Let's go. And there's fucking humans there.
Food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stoked.
Beef. The aliens just wanted a bit of cud.
Bit of human cud. Yeah, so I think that was something that will come up when you discuss the characters, in further depth. And that was the first sign that we weren't just going to have, white hat wearing goodies.
Was it Cole? Yeah, you're right. Maybe all of them were a bit conflicted. Was
Yeah.
Cole Hauser was probably just bad.
No.
He was like a junkie
But
that
you
was
don't know
posing
that.
as a cop.
But you don't know. You
yes,
don't
I
know
do.
he's posing as a cop.
Yes, I do. It was in the movie.
Yeah, but like when you're watching the movie, you think he's good. So that's a character arc again. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't know he's
but-
a bad guy.
Yeah, that's the point though, because he's pretending to be a cop, so he's a bad guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he wasn't a great bloke. He didn't share the morphine.
Yeah, that guy was struggling. He's like, I got none here.
Man, if I found out there was a stash of morphine and my mate was dying, I'd be pretty pissed off.
He looked pretty good for a guy that's injecting in his eyeball.
Yeah.
Like by the point you get to your eyeball, you're like
You've got to have
you've
it.
done a few bunts.
You pass the ruck and quit at any time stage, aren't
So
you?
he looked pretty good.
Yeah.
So I reckon maybe just thinking about it now on
Yeah.
the spot, I reckon he was maybe the only one that
You might be
didn't have any redeeming factors.
Yeah.
And the what was the guy that collects artifacts? What was his name? Paris.
Oh, Paris.
Yeah. He was neither good or bad.
Yeah.
He was just shit.
It was just
He was just a shit
the-
character.
Imagine being stuck on a planet with that wanker.
Yeah.
I think the only
I just didn't want him in the movie.
only
Yeah.
good character was Keith David's character as the man of God, so to speak.
Yes.
There was no bad qualities about him.
Yeah, fair
apart
point.
from losing everyone he's looking after.
Yeah.
Like letting him wander.
Yeah, this is
Don't
another-
wander away, smallest of the group. No worries.
You've got-
Bob's like, fucking yum.
I like how for that there was, and I watched this on binge, so correct me if I'm wrong, but there was no subtitles for the Arabic that they were
I just said
speaking.
Arabic.
Yeah, but you knew all they said was Allah, Allah, Allah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all they were saying the whole time. So it's like, I don't think they're actually forming sentences here. That's why
okay.
there's no subtitles.
Come to think, you guys have convinced me the writing was really lazy.
No, just the writing for
No,
the
I
Arabic.
fucking should have learned Arabic. I also think it's got one of the better introductions to a character.
Yes.
The first time we come across Riddick, right at the beginning there.
Beautiful, the voiceover.
Ah, so good, so good. The deep voice, the bit in the mouth.
Just on the deep voice, sorry to go off a bit here. Does he have one of the best? We did Morgan Freeman very recently, but aside from him, name someone else that has a better voice in Hollywood.
I am Groot.
Like, is a really distinctive voice.
Like
And he
a
doesn't-
graveled.
and he doesn't
so
seem
not
like
like
he's...
Bobcat Goldthwait or whatever. You mean like?
Oh, no, that works, but like that's also not soothing to listen to. But Vin Diesel's voice, man.
Oh yeah,
it's beautiful.
yeah.
to
He's
listen
one
to.
of the few people. If you just played the audio and said, "Who is this?"
Yeah.
actually, it's not one, maybe Sean Connery. There's a few of them, I guess. but-
Accents are different
Okay,
because if you
fair.
start getting accent, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's got a really.
I love
good
the way
voice.
you can make the rules up as you go.
Yeah,
along.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, well,
no, I
it's my
agree.
game,
with
my
I,
rules,
I
babe.
actually fucking agree with you. Yeah, no, he's got the velvety tones.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
does.
yeah, and
And perfect for like that stoic action star voice as well.
it's
Yeah.
mostly a substitute for his lack of acting ability.
Okay. This is where you need to shut your fucking mouth. We're going to get into
Ben
this.
said it, and I was like, oh no.
I like the guy, but 80% of his acting is his voice.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
All right. I disagree, but that's fine.
15% is biceps.
But-
I can't work out the
He's
math.
very toned in this. In
Yeah.
Fast and Furious,
'Cause
he's big.
He's very
This
young.
Is just
well,
toned.
actually, that's funny because it's only a year apart. But you're right.
Yeah.
Actually, if you go back to the first Fast and Furious, he's still pretty he's ripped in that. I think
Yeah.
it's maybe the couple. I think he maybe puts on a lot of weight
Well,
from like 2000 to 2003 when
Yep.
Fast
Can
Furious,
relate.
when the new Fast Furious comes out.
yeah, I agree.
And then he's kind of bulkier rather than ripped.
Yeah, because this one he's ripped.
Yeah. He looks great.
And he does look very fresh-faced and young.
He does
Yeah.
look young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full set
He
of
aged,
hair.
he aged a lot in those few years, I reckon.
It's all
between
that
the first
sun.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was the,
There
it was the
was no
desert sun.
SPF 50 available on the
Desert
pitch,
sun.
but yeah.
What nationality is he?
Puerto Rican.
Is he?
No, I don't know.
Italian?
An American?
Italian-American, I would say,
Italian
yeah.
American?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
go with that. Sorry,
Diesel's
you've
a
probably got
very
stuff on-
Italian name.
Probably got stuff on. I don't think
Not
it's his
really.
real name. Could be.
Oh, that's, yeah. It's a good fucking name.
I thought his surname was Toretto. I thought it was Vin Toretto.
I didn't actually do much digging into his background, to be honest.
That's fair.
It's okay.
Apart from anything else, I figured...
I should know, considering I'm
Yeah,
such
you're
a
the
fan.
fanboy.
Yeah.
Considering you had a snake called Vin Diesel.
Yeah. But I also have a sneaky suspicion that he'll probably come up again on the
Yeah.
podcast
Yeah,
at
I
some
think
stage.
he will. I assure
You're
you.
doing the pacifier?
I think Ken at some stage will do Blood Sport. What's it called?
Bloodshot.
Yeah, Bloodshot.
Great
yeah.
film.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, he opens the movie with a quote in his dulcet tones. Great way to start.
Do you have the quote on hand?
They say most of your brain shuts down in cryo sleep.
Yeah.
All but the primitive side, the animal side. No wonder I'm still awake.
That was good.
Very good.
Yeah,
Very good.
That was really good. Good Vin Diesel.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Normally, I would cut in the actual quote from the movie at this point of the podcast,
I
don't need to.
Don't need to.
From now on, if there's any quotes, can you read them out?
It says, introductory quote, income was dropped in by Ken, question mark.
No,
not
not
anymore.
necessary.
Getting the pen out again, crossed
Wow.
out the pitch perfect joke, crossed out that bit.
Can you come to my house and read stories to me while I'm falling asleep in that same voice you just did?
You're very precious to me, Ken.
Okay, not that.
Okay,
Different stories.
I love your hair.
Speaking of that, actually, this is a great segue. Can we talk about maybe the creepiest thing ever in a movie?
The engine oil?
No.
Well, or he clips the hair and
Vin
smells it.
Diesel clips off the back of Rada Mitchell's hair.
Yes.
And then puts it up to his nose and just goes...
That wasn't in the script, apparently. He just did that.
And then he just blows it away in the wind.
They didn't know they were filming. He was
So
actually
funny.
sneakily.
So fucking
I'd
creepy.
forgotten about that bit. I thought you were going to mention the bit where he's shaving his head with fucking engine oil.
I didn't find that creepy at all.
I found it a bit odd.
fucking
How do you
aroused.
shave your head? That's how I shave mine.
Really? Engine oil. Should
Valvoline.
give it a shot.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, no, I had that was a little jarring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that's how I met chicks. sorry for saying chicks.
What's weird, if you want to look at it slightly deeper and why it's so weird that it's in there, is because Riddick throughout the films is virtually asexual. He's a protagonist and he's an action star or whatever you call it. And usually those guys are sexual in the films as well. He's not at all in any of them.
I was giggling because you said
No, but he is. Like,
No,
they've
you're right.
always got it did sound weird when I said it.
He's not
He's
sexual.
Not sexual. But usually they've got a love interest, right?
Yeah.
Whether they,
They
Whereas
usually
he
shoehorn one in.
Not in
Whereas
this type of
he
movie.
doesn't at
Yeah.
all. And that's why it's weird that that's even in the
I'd
movie.
forgotten about his weird attraction to her and in the
Yeah.
movie. It was
Yeah.
probably unnecessary.
I
to be
don't know
honest.
why it was in there.
I think
Yeah.
he's just an animal and he's smelling
Okay, that's
prey.
good. That's good. I
I
fucking
will
like
go
that.
with that.
I like that.
He's an animal and he's smelling prey.
He's smelling Garnier
Like
fructus.
getting the scent.
Okay, now you've called her prey. It's making it weird again.
Well, he's,
I get what you mean.
yeah.
So anyway, what did you
Get
think
out, get
of
out.
the overexposed bleach appearance to signify the heat and the sun on the planet? The suns on the planet.
The sun has to be done that way,
Yeah,
but it irked me after a while.
it's
It's like, get dark. Get dark. Like when they go into a building, like, thank Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very
My
bright.
eyes
Yeah.
need a rest.
It was a
But-
little hit and miss.
But that's to say there's like 3 suns. It's going to be like that.
Well, did you notice it changed tone? As in,
Yeah,
it was
from
like a
like a
cool
blue,
blue
yeah.
to like a scorched yellow.
Yeah.
Depending on which sun, I guess, was lighting them at that time.
I
I
did
wanna say.
notice that. Yeah.
Thought that was kind of cool, but it was a little too saturated, maybe.
It felt really washed out.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
It's like photos of me in high school.
I
They're all-
I wonder if they remade this now, which we always like to play that little game.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably wouldn't do it like that to show the heat and the that sort of thing.
I think
Or at least not that saturated.
a movie that did it well was Sunshine. It's a space
Yeah.
movie with
Oh,
a
good film.
going to the sun.
Yeah.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
They
Danny
did
Boyle.
that
That's
really
Danny
well.
Boyle,
It
right?
is Danny Boyle.
'Cause that was-
Oh yeah.
That looked hot. This just looked.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
This
Maybe
looked
just
like
get
a
one of them to
Wonderland,
say.
do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But Sunshine looked hot.
So this is good because this also goes back to what I was talking about before with the intro to the movie with the visual effects, not necessarily the CGI, but like the actual effects they used with like the stretching of the film and the weird like it's on the left of her, it's on the right of her, and the jump cuts and all that. And then with this as well, maybe David Toohey just wasn't quite. Maybe he just wasn't that good at this time.
Yeah.
Like, is it stylish or not? I don't know.
It's so borderline.
I don't
To
want to
me-
be careful with David Toohey because I'm fucking big
Yeah,
David
no, I know what you're
Toohey fan.
saying.
So yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I think the movie's visually stunning. Like
Do
as
ya?
soon as it gets dark, I think it's visually stunning. But it irks me.
Yeah.
But I can still find something beautiful, even though it irritates me.
I'd
like
agree.
Ken.
I'd agree.
Guys, you're going to get along this week. I don't want to have to separate you two
We're
again.
very good.
I agree with the dark bits look so good.
Yeah.
That's funny, actually, because, now I'm going to contradict myself, because when it did get dark, some of those scenes were phenomenal.
Oh.
The scene with Paris, where he blows the whiskey on the lighter.
Iconic.
That's got to be one of the all-time great shots of that era.
Oh,
it's fucking
it is
phenomenal.
That's an iconic shot.
Was that the
for sure.
movie poster? It
No.
should have been.
Yeah, you're right. That
Fucking should have been. Yeah.
No, it should have been Riddick. That's fair enough.
Okay. We're doing this again.
I think that he pushed it probably like just a tiny bit too far.
In the
Like,
dark or during
with
the
the
light?
light,
Yeah.
and the jump cutting and the whole thing. I just started to get a bit irked with it. I got it. You get the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, do you also notice not one of them goes, I don't think any one of them goes, oh, it's really fucking hot. Like, just make someone comment that it's hot. Make someone sweat.
Yeah, or just a thermometer.
Yeah.
Like, the surface temperature here is, 56 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
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 Now we don't need these
we
filters.
just bleached the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But it was something different as well. So
Yeah.
I get why they went for it.
Yeah, geez, the boneyard looked good though with that filter on it though, didn't it?
So
It just looks so dry, and it really puts you in the scene on that planet.
That was one of the scenes, one of the touches that I really, really enjoyed was they thought they were trees.
Yep.
And they were heading towards the trees. They're like, oh, water, we'll head towards those trees. And when it turned out to just be a boneyard of like massive
Whatever they
dead
were.
creatures,
Yeah.
you're like, these people are in trouble.
Yeah.
Do they think the heat killed them or something else?
I'm pretty
So
sure
go,
they know it's
"Wow."
something else, yeah.
Yeah.
Must have been
Well,
the
I
heat.
think the bones were just that old. It was from the last time the planet had water on it, right? And the only thing left that could survive was those bugs because they lived underground and avoided the heat.
No, I think they're land-based animals and the bugs came out at
Yeah,
dark.
I reckon they wiped them out.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why they're all in the same area.
Yeah.
But why, wipe them all out completely?
Yeah.
Hungry
Yeah.
motherfuckers.
They weren't saving it for a rainy day. They
Yeah,
were,
but those big, large animals didn't just appear one day.
Maybe.
I don't know,
man.
Jesus, can we get a ruling on this?
I'm panicked. I'm acting like Ryder Mitchell, captain.
Let's talk about the boneyard for an hour. I like it. I love thinking about shit like that in movies, though.
I want to go deeper.
Yeah, because a movie like that I like to think, puts a fair bit of detail into things like
Yeah.
that. So there probably is like this massive backstory like that David Toohey came up with for what those things are. Not included in the movie,
Yep.
but to actually just have them this size and position like they were in this kind of valley, which looked like it might have been a river at some point. Like it would be this huge backstory in his mind, and then it's just like turns into a boneyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
It was
Love shit like that in sci-fi.
those aspects were money well spent. Some of the physical, some of the physical sets and some of the physical effects and whatnot. I've got a little bit into the creatures as well. I went down a little creature rabbit hole as well.
Love
yeah,
that.
and I thought it was pretty cool to see how some of that stuff was done. That was like unassailable as far as I was concerned. Some of the effects in terms of the technology we saw and stuff like that, even a little bit of the CGI, which was kept to mostly a minimum.
A little bit of green screen stuff. Was
a little bit, but that sort of stuff they nailed it.
The bugs were. What are we calling them? Can we call it? What are we?
Creatures.
Creatures. Yeah, the creatures were fucking great.
Yes.
Man. Yeah,
Yes.
the scenes as they fly out of their what do you call them? Like the anthills, basically.
Tunnels.
Yeah.
The tunnels. Yeah, when they come out, when it's just in the sky and you're looking at it through Riddick's vision.
Yes.
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not so scared of the bats, but the main ones I'm scared of. Like
Yeah.
they are
Yeah.
vicious.
So I'll give you some creature facts a little bit later on.
Okay.
In the meantime, some of the other great shots has light being shed onto a darkened pit of human skeletons ever not worked in a movie?
It always works.
Like you're like, oh, what's down here? Someone throws a flare down, and then it just lights up, and it's just 100
Like
fucking
a bottom of a pit or something.
Yeah,
You know, like
every time you're like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
yep,
Love
nailed
that.
it.
Yeah, very good.
And then some of the writing that I really enjoyed was stuff like, he says, I want you to remember this moment. So Cole Hauser sets him free.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I want you to remember this moment, saying like, I saved your life.
Yeah.
Immediately Riddick turns it around on him.
Yeah.
I want you to remember this moment.
Yeah.
And then he calls it back later on in the movie again.
Yeah.
Remember that moment.
Those little touches in terms of the writing,
Yeah, that was good.
combined with the fact that the physical sets were so good, elevated it above a $23 million, elevated above B movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a B movie.
No,
definitely not. It
Yeah.
just had some of the elements of
Yeah.
a B movie. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. It kind of it was like a B movie, but a way better version of a B movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was little things like that made them. And I wonder how inventive you've got to be as a director to sort of get away with that, and a writer to get away with that, to elevate your movie above just being
I think
schmaltzy little
because
Yeah.
he writ this movie as well. So as he's directing it, he would make sure the characters are well established, making sure everything works in his vision. So like what Ken was saying, he probably does have a massive backstory.
Yeah, on all of it.
On everything, like every character. And then you find out about Riddick's future and stuff like that.
I love
and
that.
his past.
I love that in movies.
So I just think if he's writing it, he wants to make everything perfect. And I think that's why it elevates above a B movie.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of emotion behind every character.
Yeah, you're right.
And there's a lot. They're all, like, you don't know what they are. That's 70-30, 30-60. Saying bad or good, like we were saying earlier.
Yeah, I do like these types of genre films always have this, like, fantastic ensemble of characters that are put in, like, extraordinary circumstances, and the unlikeliest of pairings kind of have to team up and try and get through this together. I love that shit in movies. But as you're saying, most of the time, that when it's particularly if it's a B movie, those characters are very cliche.
Yeah.
And although these characters were kind of cliche in what they were, they also had a wicked backstory.
Yeah.
You could tell most of them had a lot of depth, which was great. Yeah.
And even a cliche was delivered well. So like the God speech from the Holy Man, that's a cliche, right?
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
And even the way that Riddick responds, you know he's not going to go, oh yeah, actually now to think about it, I'll repent. Yeah. So he says, do you want it?
Yeah, please go.
Got it all wrong, Holy Man. I turned into John Wayne.
Holy man.
Holy Man.
You got it wrong there, mister.
You got it all wrong, Holy Man. I believe in God. I just absolutely hate the fucker.
Yeah, good. Yeah. Another great line.
Yeah. And there was a couple of real standout lines like that. Like I said,
no, literally every piece of dialogue from Vin Diesel was a perfect line. Yeah.
It was the ones I could understand.
Yeah.
I think this is his best role for me.
Really?
Yeah.
As in just Riddick in general.
Not Riddick.
This movie.
The character.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they use his voice perfect.
As in him in Pitch Black, or Riddick, or him in just any of the Riddick movies?
Him in any of the Riddick movies.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
Just as a character.
Yeah. No, I think I'm with you.
Yeah, so
hard for me between that and Dom Toretto.
Yeah, because you're a massive Fast and Furious guy.
Well, up until 6, but
we know.
I'm clear on that.
So he agrees with you.
Yeah.
So we're going to step on the Vin Diesel bit a little bit.
Yeah.
He enjoyed this character so much. For starters, one of the parts of the writing, which is interesting, and this is probably handy to have the guy who wrote the movie directing the movie, Riddick was meant to die.
Oh.
But as they were
sacrificially?
He was meant to go the way that Fry went.
Yeah, okay.
Which was a fucking cool scene too, by the way.
When flip those around,
Yeah.
I could see that being a movie, yeah.
But they decided that as the movie went along and evolved, they thought, you know what, we want to keep him around.
Yep.
We want to, in a sense, she was redeeming herself for the mistake she nearly made at the start.
Yep.
So it's like a whole. That's why all the characters are really complex. It's got to be the
Yeah.
fodder characters, like the Muslim kids and stuff. The two Australian things, they're not going to last long.
No, they weren't.
Oh, the real Aussie guy.
It's also good they didn't. They were I felt like they were the outliers in the whole movie in terms of they just weren't good actors.
Yeah. Well, that one guy's the key grip.
Is he? They just threw him in. Yeah.
Another classic mess around by
you, mate. You're in.
I felt like they just weren't good.
Yeah.
They were a level below everyone else in the film.
I didn't even
look
look up their names.
That's what I mean by fodder. They were just there.
Yeah.
And they were there to represent the threat the aliens were.
Yeah, this is true.
I agree.
Yeah.
Also,
a good creature movie needs fodder.
Can I mention when the eclipse is happening?
Yeah.
How fucking awesome that planet looked
Yes.
as they were joining.
Saturn
Yeah.
I was like,
planet.
wow,
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Yeah.
So they probably directed the budget into the right areas in that regard.
Yeah.
So I'll take a little bit of a shittier crash at the beginning
Yeah.
for something that makes me believe more about the eclipse.
Yeah.
And for the scene where like Fry gets snatched out of she just gets sucked into the air by that creature.
Yep.
That was legit.
Fuck yeah. So
the alcohol spitting scene.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it for me.
Yeah.
Because if you actually break it down like that and they got 23 mil, they can't make the whole thing look perfect.
Yeah.
So this is what they spent the money on. Great.
Yeah.
Love it.
You just
I
talked
don't care
about
about the start anymore.
Iconic scene with Paris and stuff as well.
My redeem just went from 90 to 100, so thanks.
It's all about
It's the first
allocation of
100.
resources when you're on a budget.
You were about to say, just before we went off there, you were about to talk about Vin Diesel and this being his favourite character.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm happy to be.
I usually do.
Yeah. Did he have a lot to do with producing Chronicles?
Yeah.
He basically paid for it, didn't he?
So they wanted him to be in the Tokyo Drift Fast and the Furious movie about cars, right?
Yeah.
And
that's awful, that one. The Tokyo Drift.
Take your word for it. He said, I'll be in it he's not in it much then, apparently.
Cameo at the
one
end.
line, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they wanted him to be in it so they could bring him back into the franchise and be part of the intellectual property again.
Yep.
Instead of taking a fee, he negotiated with the studio to own the rights to the character of Riddick.
Ah, that's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. So he is fucking Riddick, right?
That's unbelievable.
Yes. And he...
So he said. So what you're saying is he'll
very
go, I'll go in that movie for this little bit.
Yep.
I don't want money.
Yep.
I want the rights to Riddick as a character.
I want to keep playing Riddick. And I want it to be sort of under my terms to an extent.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
because apparently he's the world's coolest nerd.
Yeah.
Apparently he's like a massive
big nerdy
nerd.
guy.
Yeah,
He's
like
a Dungeons and Dragons guy and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
And he was right into Riddick and he really enjoyed playing it.
Yep.
And so, what a genius move as well.
Yeah, cool.
So the movie, The Chronicles of Riddick, he funded largely out of his own pocket.
Which, if we're having this conversation now, that is my preferred of the Riddick films,
Right.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Okay.
Huge Chronicles of Riddick guy.
My favourite Riddick movie is Chronicles of Riddick.
Yep.
Then it's Riddick, and then it's Pitch Black.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
I love the new Riddick. Like,
Yeah.
not many people have seen it, but give it a go.
No, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, good.
I
Yeah,
actually,
give it a go.
the director's cut of Riddick, which you have to buy on Blu-ray, that's unbelievable. It's a completely different movie to Riddick, the theatrical cut.
Got it in the attic?
Someone told me, I do. Someone told me, you got to watch the director's cut of that Riddick film. And I was like, okay. I liked it the first time. I just didn't think it was great.
Was it David Twu while you're having a blueberry muffin?
I
He's
think
like,
it might have been. Yeah. But it's really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No,
I just supports the character as a whole, not just Pitch Black.
Yeah, and I think it spawned one of the... I like them all. I'm a fan of them all. And it's interesting that it took a slightly different direction.
Each one's completely different.
This one was a lot more horror than I remember.
Yeah. This one's like a horror creature movie.
Yeah.
The second one is like intergalactic space war.
Yep.
And then the third one is like this kind of thriller, claustrophobic,
Which one ends with him on the throne? Which one's that?
That's Chronicles.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah. The necromongers.
Yeah.
Carl Urban, my boy.
Oh yeah, Carl Urban. Yeah, not married to Nicole Kidman. No, right.
Yeah.
So they open up the whole universe. They go really
in
deep.
the second one. They do.
Yeah. So there may be more talk about that one.
Can we also, just while we're on a bit of a tangent there, that as a sequel is so much different to the first one, but holds on to the integral kind of, the main character, but you try and think of another sequel that's just like a completely different movie. Like it goes from space horror to like massive sci-fi action kind of movie. Yeah. It's completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's not many...
Like Fast 9, A Space Odyssey, whatever it's called.
But there's not many sequels like that where they just take the main character and go, okay, now it's a completely different tone, it's a completely different type of movie. And it still works beautifully. Yeah, because who doesn't want to know more about Riddick?
Yeah, and let's find about the other species on this planet. And there's like a locust type species feeding planets, and then you bring back Keith David and the girl as well, and find out she still has that thing, and then you find out he lies about the eyes and stuff. Let's just do Chronicles.
We just did. Yeah. So
we will.
Yeah, it's very possible that we might. Was there any other little bits of the writing or the production that jumped out to you guys in particular?
Visually, I want to ask you guys, how did you feel when Riddick takes his glasses off and it's just like a blue and white view from Riddick's
like his point of view?
What he can see.
Yeah. Did you like it at all?
I don't mind it.
I found it hard because I would hate to see like that.
If
I was him, I was like, fuck, this is a horrible life.
It was literally a punishment.
Do you think that was a choice to do budget-wise? Because you could show this beautiful picture of these aliens just coming out of the tunnels and stuff.
Oh, no, but he was... Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Decided to go with the purple...
Yeah, because I think they wanted you to see it from... Because the other characters were asking him, like, what do you see, what do you see? Because it's pitch black.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the way the aliens see.
Yeah. The sonar type thing.
Yeah, sonar. They're not actually seeing, right?
Yeah.
It's sonar.
So they see it like Daredevil.
Yeah. So what I liked with the way...
Sure.
Yeah.
This is actually where Daredevil's character comes from.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it's not to the bats.
Yeah.
Is it bats? I don't know where
it's bats. It's bats. One of the pieces...
By the way, that's Batman.
It's so confusing. I don't watch those movies. One of the bits that I thought was clever with that sort of thing was when he discovers the blind spot. And then he does the...
One of the best scenes
Dove's
in the
doing
movie.
it right now. The moving backwards and forwards in
just
unison.
right up close in their face.
Man.
Yeah,
That's cool, isn't it? That's a really good touch.
Yeah. Looked great as well.
Yeah.
Like the camera shot from above, showing him move side to side.
As soon as it moves, he runs in and Oh man, I love it. I
and
love
he just,
that scene.
I like a movie where they just plant that seed rather subtly earlier.
Yep.
It's like, blind spot, eh?
Yeah, so this is one of my things with creature movies, which is part of the reason why I love them. I love
a
it.
huge creature
Yeah, I know you are. We both are on that. I love it when the creatures in the movie have rules. And this is one of the rules, that they have a blind spot if you get too close. You know, like the creature has to have a weakness or whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously the other rule is light. So, that, I love that shit because then you kind of put yourself in that scenario and you start thinking, okay, I can get a way out of here if I just stay in the light.
Stop.
The same way the characters do. Stay in the light, and then if I get up close and personal and I got to get in this blind spot, I love rules.
Yeah. And it adds that more element of danger as well, especially with the light in particular, because they've got a finite amount of light, right?
Yeah.
And they've got to get to where they're going.
It also adds an element of hope. So if it's a creature movie and the creature has no weakness, and it's just like this formidable...
Like Alien, man.
That's right,
They've got no weak.
Whereas in this movie, they've got these weaknesses. So you watching it, you've got hope for these characters. Oh, if they just keep the light, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Do you reckon you'd tell everybody? You'd be like, hey, there's a blind spot? Or you just wait till you're dancing with an alien and you're like, what the fuck's this guy doing? He keeps his cards pretty close to his chest.
Another scene I really like is when Riddick's in the shadow and he just pops out in his half a face talking to one of the children that go wandering about.
Yeah.
And he goes, whatever you do, don't run. That's when you find out they're sensitive to light. And that's a wicked way of doing it.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel's also sensitive. And then they actually see that the aliens are actually sensitive to light. That was a good scene to start that whole plot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. So I suppose we could sort of summarize a little bit by saying they hit tropes, they checked the boxes, but the way they went about it was like inventive enough and unique enough.
100%.
Like, we have to learn the weaknesses, but they showed us in a way which is interesting and, all that sort of stuff. So that's what separates it from just your run-of-the-mill B-movie. And that's the last time I'm going to use the expression B-movie. Not the Jerry Seinfeld animated thing either, by the way. Just in case anyone's confused.
I thought that's what you were talking about this whole time.
Yeah.
It's not a B-movie. Yeah, no shit, it wasn't even animated, you dickhead.
Very good movie.
One other thing that I thought was just mildly interesting again, because it's come up, I didn't realise they did this, so prepare yourself for a mildly interesting tidbit. The blue blood was again a way of getting around censorship.
Yeah. Oh, we've seen that before. In Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn, they use green blood. I don't.
But blood of the creatures, I wouldn't have thought makes it.
It's not human blood anyway.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? But
if it's red,
I liked that though.
Yeah.
It's just started raining blue and don't look up.
Yeah. So when they were doing the don't look up bit, the crew were on the edge of the gauntlet sort of thing, literally with buckets of blue blood. They had some spraying machine and it broke down. They literally had buckets of blood and they were throwing buckets of blue blood.
Yeah, cool.
Apparently best day on set.
Yeah.
Just a great time.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's also a cool scene. This movie is
lots of cool scenes.
Didn't have a budget, but they did cool scenes.
Yeah.
On a low budget. You just said they were throwing stuff off with buckets.
Yeah, there's literally people throwing buckets.
It's just a cool scene, running like they're killing each other just so you can douse the flames.
And again, the don't look up thing's a good touch because they're killing each other. Like, how ruthless are these creatures?
Yeah. So just before we move on, the creatures, the smaller ones, are they just infant?
No, I think they're
completely different creatures.
No. I've got this. I've got I think it's called entomology of the
this
creatures.
Is David too. He loves it. He's going to have backstory.
So in terms of the way that this movie was produced, that's a good segue into this. So it was filmed in Cooper Pedy in South Australia for the most part.
Yeah. Checks out.
Yeah. Also
very barren.
Yeah.
Isn't it the hottest place in Australia, Cooper Pedy?
I think it's Marble Bar, but
they live underground. And Cooper Pedy, I'm pretty sure they live underground.
Yeah, it's like Tatooine.
Yeah.
They also filmed.
Sorry, does this place exist? People live underground, like mole people.
They literally live underground.
That's incredible.
Because it's so hot in the middle of summer. It's just 45.
Is that where they get opals and stuff?
There was an opal mine there.
Yeah, crazy.
Fucking some good geography today. Some great geography facts. Yeah. They also filmed Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome there.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So they filmed the worst Mad Max film. They're a bit of a bummer.
Did they film that new film with Zac Efron on Stan called Golds there?
Not that I'm aware of.
Fuck. Not a good movie.
They did film the Red Planet there as well, or Red Planet.
Ooh, Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah. And if you are ever cruising through Cooper Pedy, the spaceship from this movie is a tourist attraction there, so it's still in situ.
That might be on my bucket list. I'll visit that.
We might all end up there one day when it's just a war for water and oil in the middle of Australia with the last 800 of us.
I ain't surviving that. I'm one of the first
under
to go.
A ship from pitch black.
So good. That's part of the reason it's Australian production, filmed in South Australia on on set there.
Yeah, very cool.
The creatures.
Let's get into it. I'm fucking pumped.
So the Australian company called John Cox's Creature Workshop from Queensland made 2 massive animatronic creatures for the film.
Wicked.
Right? The other monsters were either miniatures or there was some CGI.
Yeah.
But these big ones were really cool. So I went down a bit of a rabbit hole reading.
Yeah.
about
I'm glad
them.
you did.
They were fiberglass, latex, and foam.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So it wasn't even viable for them to ship them to Cooper Pedy. So the main scenes involving the biggest creatures, like him fighting hand-to-hand combat with them, were all filmed on a soundstage in Queensland.
Yep, that makes sense.
They made a bit of a OH&S error in that when he's when he's doing the real hand-to-hand combat with one, Vin Diesel's there's one person operating each arm of that creature, so he's fighting 2 people at once.
Yeah.
Relatively unchoreographed, and the fingernails were legitimately sharp.
Oh, Jesus.
So they didn't even use those. So Vin Diesel's like fighting off 2 people at once that may or may not take his dollars out, which I thought was just, that element of dangers. You can really feel it. Yeah. They went through several redesigns.
Yeah.
One of the ones was apparently they had like big sort of bulbous things on the side of their head, which were meant to be for their sonar.
Oh, yeah.
But they look like eyes.
Yeah. Okay.
So they got rid of them pretty early. But this is an interesting thing in terms of the fact that when a distributor and a producer came on board and they start influence the production, they made them change the design a little bit. And one of the big things they did was they split the tail in 2.
Yep.
Because it looked like a dinosaur otherwise.
It looked like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, they were like, it was too much like a dinosaur. Yeah, so they did that.
Very cool.
Yeah. The company kept the 2 models for 20 years suspended from the roof of their Queensland workshop.
Great.
Which would be fucking cool.
Yeah, very cool.
But the heat and humidity deteriorated them to the point where they mostly had to be thrown away.
Oh,
yeah.
How long did it take them?
The article I was reading literally had photos of them being thrown in a bin, which I thought was a bit rough. But they salvaged their heads, and one's still in the company's offices, and one is in a museum in Germany.
Weird.
Yeah.
Like a movie museum.
Yeah, just a museum in Germany. There's some pretty dark museums in Germany. So yeah, I thought it was really cool that there was such an Australian edge to this production. They kept it pretty local, and it shows what we can do here.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And in terms of the entomology, which we were talking about before, there's actually 3 stages of the creatures shown.
Yep. So it is the same creature.
It is the same
creature. Life cycle.
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. So they're shown in various stages of growth and evolution.
Yeah.
There's the larval stage, which is the small worm-like, harmless.
Oh, they glow in the dark.
Yeah, the bioluminescence.
Sorry.
Yeah. Lumo.
Glow in the dark. I'm such a dummy.
Yeah. I just like words with syllables. And that's when Fry, Iman, and Jack meet them in the cave and use them as their torches. Yep. Another really cool little twist.
Lovely touch.
So that was the actual aliens?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Tickle me intrigued.
There's only one life form left on the whole planet. That's what I'm telling you. These things have fucking wiped everything out. Like crazy. Jeff Bezos. And then the second one is the mid-level small bat-like ones.
Yep.
They're the ones that fly in flocks and hunt.
I call them the least threatening.
I call those ask
character
Shazza.
that gets her
Shazza
body
got
ripped in
fucked
half. Might disagree.
Shazza would have been fine if she.
I love the fact she was called Shazza.
Was she? I didn't even notice that.
It was
Get
so
up,
good.
Shazza. The
Shazza,
goddamn
get
bats
up!
are coming.
Shazza's so good. They really went full ball on the Australian here.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And then there's the adults, which were the large grey. They possess wide, narrow heads and can easily kill a human alone, as well as kill their own kind for food. So they're the ones that take out Johns, Paris, Fry, and all the others.
I love the creatures in this movie. I think they're great.
Yeah, they're really good.
Really great. When Cole gets it, that's another hunting method for them. Just whoosh, straight through him. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
The hungry bastards.
So I've got a little bit further later on about him getting it as well. But should we do a little bit more? We've obviously touched on the cast a little bit. Do you want to go into the cast and crew a little bit further?
Please do.
David Twee. He's got 10 credits, directorial credits on IMDb.
Big fan of.
Oh, so this is just his director credits?
Yeah.
He's a bit of a
10's
writer.
not huge, yeah.
He's a bit of a writer as well.
Yeah.
So he's written screenplays for The Arrival, Prepare Your Body Duff, The Perfect Getaway.
I was going to bring that up. That's not in my notes.
I know it's one of your favourites.
Yeah.
But A Perfect Getaway, if you haven't seen it, and they're talking about backstories of this one, watch A Perfect Getaway.
Very good thriller.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite movies.
Good cast as well.
Of all time, and it's 57, so we can't do it on the pod.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Already looked into it very deeply. Watched it recently again. Carry on. Sorry.
Waterworld.
Yes. That's my lane right there.
May or may not be on the list.
Yeah.
G.I. Jane.
No, Waterworld's above 50.
Yeah.
It was literally when we
it's
decided
the
we were going to
Postman
do
I'm
this.
thinking of.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
we decided we were going to do this pod, the first movie I looked at was Waterworld because I was like, that'll be the one. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm thinking of the Postman. I get them confused. G.I. Jane.
Yep. I like that.
Most famous for Demi Moore shaving her head.
Yep.
And saying "suck my dick."
Yeah.
that was huge.
Yeah, it was
Was
good.
it?
Yeah.
Viggo Mortensen.
It was in its time. Yeah.
Yeah, I
it was
loved
it was a big film.
Yeah.
And he also wrote Chronicles of Riddick.
Yep.
He had
That makes me.
He
so
directs
happy.
Chronicles as well.
yeah.
That makes me sad. That makes me chuffed. Carry on.
And he wrote a script for Alien 3, but it was rejected.
Damn, everyone
I know.
wrote a script for Alien 3, eh?
Yeah, and they went with the one they went with. Don't get it.
Oh, I like it.
You should see the
don't know.
director's
It's
cut
okay.
of,
It's different to the
Alien
others.
3. Different movie, like you said.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The studio got right involved.
Yes, not always a good thing. His highest score is 87 for The Fugitive.
Wrote that, didn't he? Not directed, just wrote.
No, I believe he directed it. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think so.
It would have been a screenplay too because it was based on a TV show.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Yeah, really good.
Really good movie.
Yep.
Yeah. And his lowest score, I'm so sorry, is for The Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh.
33.
Oh, that makes me excited.
Yeah.
Fuck yo.
Yeah.
33. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
maybe on my list.
Jesus Christ. Just to let everyone know, he writ The Fugitive.
Okay.
Yeah, didn't direct it, I don't
Okay.
think. Yeah.
Yeah,
I tried to get one past Ken, and that was on me. I'm sorry, everyone.
Not on my watch.
Yeah.
I'm a Dave Toohey guy.
I like The Fugitive. I just don't know who directed it.
No, I couldn't tell you who did.
Tommy Lee Jones, I think.
Maybe.
So grouchy.
So, not a hell of a lot of credits. 10 over the course of time.
Pretty quiet. Like usually they would have someone like him would have a heap of shorts and TV series and stuff in there.
I think
because he's kind of style. He's got his own little thing going on. Surprised he hasn't done some episodes of like, Firefly or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think with him, when he writes a movie and directs it, this takes time. They're all pet projects.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, like Ken mentioned the backstory. Every one of his movies has a fucking unique backstory.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it
Every
makes
single
sense.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. I suppose if someone's just throwing scripts at you and you're picking one to take shots of, yeah.
Yep.
That makes sense. What he isn't is an actor.
Has he been in something?
He was in one of his own movies. He appeared in a small part in his own film Below.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
they
the
had
movie.
They had to do 26 takes
Shit.
so he could get his 8 words right. So that's David Toohey. Good writer, good director. Didn't do The Fugitive apparently, but other than that, he's done some good movies. Any other David Toohey thoughts before we move on?
No, that's good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad you summed him up like that.
We've touched on Vin Diesel, and Vin Diesel has touched Ken's life.
Yeah, really has.
He's got 56 credits on IMDb.
Yeah.
He's got an average Metacritic score of 54.
That's pretty good.
I thought it was pretty good.
Good for an action star.
Yeah. We know what his highest one is, right? Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be.
91.
Yeah,
that's
huge.
fucking
It's
elite.
right up
That
there.
movie's elite.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty good.
It's elite.
Pretty good. It's
Masterpiece.
it's widely considered to be pretty good.
What have you got anything else there? Of what his higher ones are?
No.
No. Okay.
Thanks for asking.
okay.
I can tell you what his lowest is.
Mm.
Babylon AD.
Yeah. Okay.
26.
Didn't
It's
hate
one of
that
the.
movie.
It's one of the only ones I don't like.
Mm.
Yeah. Watched it once and went, fuck that. I wish that was good.
Yeah.
Because
It
it's
should
got
have been
it's
good.
got a cool concept and it's Vin Diesel, but it just didn't work.
Didn't
yeah.
work. Ba-bow.
Shame.
He's actually got 7 movies below. It's a shame.
Shame.
It's a fucking shame. I hate to say bad things about my guy Vin.
No, but sometimes even like his ones that should be stinkers, like what's the Last Witch Hunter, and I'm not a fantasy guy at all, and it's kind of a bit fantasy because it's witches and whatnot.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
That's a low score too.
Yeah, and it should have been bad.
So he based his character on his D&D character.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. That's how much of a nerd he is. Good on him though.
Last Witch Hunter, is that what it was called?
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Last Witch Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Little
got
movie.
he's got 7 films below 40.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yep. Don't list them
No.
because I've got them.
I know. I thought there might be a
I've got
couple
5
coming
of them.
up. Is there one that's got 3 letters in the title?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not the pacifier. And a lot of the other stuff we've pretty much covered over the fact that Pitch Black was his breakthrough role. He did make his own short film, like as a debut.
That's how he got picked up by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
For Boiler Room.
And
Strays.
For
also-
Saving
Called
Private
Strays.
Ryan.
Yeah. Strays. I've actually
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah.
Have you?
It's actually quite good. Yeah.
Okay.
Shit.
Yeah. Found
He
it
wrote,
ages and
he
ages
wrote,
ago.
directed, and main starred in a
Yeah.
full-length film later on,
Right.
a courtroom movie, and he's a lawyer.
Oh,
Yeah. Sorry, I could be. Maybe he just wrote and starred.
Yeah.
Or he directed and starred, one of those two.
I think
but he had a part in the production
as a lawyer.
Well. Yeah, he's a lawyer. It's like a courtroom drama.
Right.
Is that where he's like the mob? He's in the mob? Like a mob?
Yeah,
performer?
I can't remember what it's called.
He's not the lawyer.
He's not the lawyer? No.
No, he's the guy who's like telling the story about
Right,
that.
okay.
It's really
drama.
good. Like, give it a go.
Yeah.
I liked
We'll
it.
put the name of the movie in the comments on social media.
I can't remember it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Lincoln Lawyer, no?
No. He could have been in that though instead of Matt McConaughey. I say remake. I say remake everything. With
You've gone too far this time. Jesus. I'm angry.
I'm just a big Vin Diesel guy because, as you guys are learning about me, I like actors and movies that take themselves really seriously sometimes when they probably shouldn't. And when that works, like he does in playing Riddick, where he delivers these lines and there's virtually no one else in Hollywood that could deliver these lines with the sincerity he does without people laughing in his face. And I'm sure there's people out there that do laugh in his face, but as in when they're watching this movie,
I was going to say not just
to his face.
It would be, but yeah, no one can do that like him, and time after time.
Yeah.
So it's not just Riddick; it's Dom fucking Toretto as well.
Yeah.
All of those, like,
Family.
I mean, yeah, that's become a meme now. The familiar thing. What is it? Find Me Guilty.
Find Me Guilty.
That's the name of the movie. Yeah.
I agree. I think he has got a very narrow lane.
Yeah.
But he owns it.
Yep.
And he's managed to drive that lane to some pretty massive franchises. Riddick is probably the least of his big franchises. I know he's not a big part of Marvel.
Yep.
But he's in Marvel.
Yeah.
Right. And Fast and the Furious. That's not a bad threesome to have. Like,
Yep.
So he's done pretty well.
Well,
there.
the Fast and Furious, we talk about it too much on this pod, but it's as besides, if you take Marvel out, it's probably the biggest franchise of the last, I don't know, probably the biggest franchise ever.
I think it's the first
Take out
movie.
comic book movies in general,
but it's
name
not
a bigger franchise.
And James Bond.
And who's the guy that? Yeah, okay. Who's the guy that held them all together? Oh, I'd say a new Fast movie would do the same dollars as a new Bond movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, pretty wild. Yeah, when you think about who he is and what he is on screen.
He's maxed out. He's really maximised his talent. It's an inspiration to all of us with mediocre talents.
I don't know. I'm not sure he's that bad of an actor.
No, I'm just taking. I'm just trying to troll you.
Some of his A Man Apart. He's quite good in that. Actually, very visceral and he's very dramatic in that.
Yeah. That's actually not a bad. Yeah, it's not a bad flick. That one
on the list,
is it? So I would like to move on to Radha Mitchell.
Yep,
with the next two people, the next two main stars.
We touched on her.
We have.
We
really
clipped
have.
her hair and sniffed it in the last episode.
That's some of your better work. That is, honestly, just give me a minute to high five. So she has 77 acting credits on IMDb.
Shit.
Wow.
A lot of them are TV. She's got a lot of TV.
Okay. Aussie TV or US TV?
A lot of Aussie TV.
Yep. Okay.
She started in Aussie TV. She was in Neighbours All Together Now and Blue Heelers.
Jesus, the triple threat.
Yeah,
right.
She's worked with them all.
I'm surprised I didn't cross paths with her when I was playing the sick child on Country Practice.
I can't believe we've made it. How many episodes in before you dropped your credits? I don't know. We've got our own Macaulay Culkin right here.
Child actors have a rough time.
If anyone can find that online, I will pay them fucking good money to watch that scene where Ken's the sick child in a Country Practice.
I still don't believe it.
Yeah, we actually haven't had any documented proof that this happened. Oh, you got an IMDb page?
Go on. No, I don't.
Oh, yeah. I don't. It's one of those.
So Radha Mitchell.
One of us in the room does. Her average Metacritic score is 43.
Whoa.
Yeah. She's had pretty long career, and it's been bookended by her highest score of a movie called High Art from 1998, which no one's ever heard of.
Not interested.
It's... do you want, I've got the summary just because I was like, what the fuck is that? And I know why none of us have seen it. It's a very 1998 summary of a movie. An award-winning romantic drama about a photo magazine editor and a heroin-addicted photo prodigy with whom she falls in love.
Okay.
I reckon 50% of movies are about heroin in the 90s.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, no thank you. The lowest score is 13 from last year for a movie called Run, Hide, Fight. 13.
Oh, that's the school shooting film.
Is it?
Yeah, it's about it's an active shooter.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I make it through that? I don't think I did.
No.
I tried it. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't get through it.
Radha Mitchell's best movie is Rogue. I love that.
Oh, the crocodile
Another
one.
creature.
crocodile one.
Give me
Yeah.
a creature.
That is a good
flick. I love
movie.
it.
Yeah. She's been in some good, like, so she's obviously
She's
in
been in a
Olympus.
few. Has she been in a few other creature movies? Is it kind of a thing for her? She like Rogue and Pitch Black.
That's
I
it.
feel like there was.
Silent Hill.
Oh, yeah, Silent Hill.
That's
horror,
like zombies
horror,
and shit,
horror.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dark horror.
Yeah.
She's been in some legit films. Like she was in Olympus Has Fallen, which we talked about recently.
Yep.
London Has Fallen.
Yeah.
Okay. Man on Fire.
Yeah. Really
And-
good in that.
Yeah. And a good movie that nobody will ever, like, if it was still available and you're going through the streaming, no one's pressing play on Phone Booth, are they?
Oh,
But it is a good
I might.
film.
I like
But
Phone
nobody
Booth.
under 30 knows what the fuck a phone
Yeah,
booth is
yeah,
for a
true.
start.
Yeah.
You know?
Is that the one with Colin Farrell?
Oh,
Yeah,
Farrell,
that's
it
great.
was actually a really good film. I thought it was really good.
Sutherland.
Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be a Jerry one. Jerry Bruckheimer.
It just won't make sense to most people.
No. Yeah,
Yeah.
good one though.
They might as well call it.
I don't actually remember her in it. It's been a long time since I watched it.
Exactly my point.
Yeah.
The only other tidbit I'd like to throw out there about her that I thought was relatively interesting and completely pointless is Mick Jagger once convinced customs to let her into France for the Cannes Film Festival when she forgot her visa. Cool. And that says a lot more about Mick Jagger.
Yeah,
than
it
about
does.
anyone.
Yeah.
That's the kind of sway you want in life. You know,
Maybe he was a Pitch Black fan.
it's just Neighbours. Yeah. He's a big fan of All Together now, I reckon. You just want
And
him.
heroin. So maybe it's that movie. It's the heroin movie.
We did quite a dive on Cole Hauser last time.
We did.
But we'll give you some stats on him this time. 54 credits as an actor on IMDb, an average Metacritic score of 48.
Yep.
His highest score is for Dazed and Confused at 78. His lowest score, I was quite surprised at this score, and he got 28 for A Good Day to Die Hard.
Oh.
28.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
Was it that bad?
It's garbage.
Oh, was it? I thought it was alright. Was that the one with Jai Courtney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought
It was
great.
okay, wasn't it?
Nah, it's not good.
I can't
Is he
really
the one moving?
remember it.
Is he Bruce Willis's son in that one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not
yeah,
good, man.
yeah.
Not good
Yeah,
at
I
all.
told you to call me dad or some shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, no, 28 is probably too much, come to think of it. So he was a big part of Olympus Has Fallen. We talked about him a little bit in that one.
First person to mention the line.
Yeah.
Olympus has fallen. Olympus has fallen.
Yeah.
Let's not do that again, though. We did it on the last pod.
Yeah.
Just to name drop some other movies that he's been in, which he's been in some pretty decent flicks over the years. School Ties.
Yeah.
That was a reasonably big deal. Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting, rather.
Will Hunting's a different movie.
He was in Average Will Hunting, the sequel. Higher Learning.
Yeah.
a
wow.
good movie.
Wait, so he was in School Ties and Higher Learning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
Yep. And as
So it's my least favourite of the early Fast movies.
right,
That's okay, though.
one day we'll get your full rankings, but we'll need a good 45
Happy to do
minutes.
it.
Yeah, okay.
Happy to do it.
That'll be a mini-sode. And as we got, I believe Duff got pretty jacked last week when we mentioned Tears of the Sun.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah.
fucking good in that.
There's a big part in that as well.
Oh,
yeah.
Because he's never usually a big part guy. This is one of his biggest ever parts, I think, besides Paparazzi, where he carries the movie. But he's quite a big role in this Pitch Black.
Yeah.
And both of you all got kind of jacked when we mentioned Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Which is on the list. I'll get there.
Check it out.
I liked his character arc in this movie because, as you said, I'd forgotten most of the plot points of this movie.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought like 75% of this movie was them running through the dark.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of a small part of the movie this
It
actually
takes an
was.
hour to get dark.
Yeah.
It's an hour.
Yeah, that caught me by surprise as well.
Yeah. That's why the daylight stuff I was bored by it.
Yeah.
Kinda. Yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
Just about spat my drink
Yeah,
out.
that's a bit harsh.
Bored
but
over
whatever.
there.
Ooh.
Fucking hell.
We get it.
We get it. It's bright.
Yeah, you're in the sun.
So what he does at the end there, which I thought was pretty cool, was he effectively offers Riddick what's called the trolley problem.
Okay.
Which
I'm
is-
listening.
yeah.
I don't know this.
You'll know it when you explain.
Yeah.
It's the morality test.
Yeah.
To see if you'll sacrifice one person to save more lives.
Yeah.
So it's the trolley problem, and I've got the exact definition here.
Yes.
The trolley problem is a thought experiment in ethics about a fictional scenario in which an onlooker has the choice to save 5 people in danger of being hit by a trolley by diverting the trolley to kill just one person.
Oh, I have heard of this.
How big
yeah.
is this fucking trolley?
It's in San Francisco. It's
Yeah,
driven
like
by a guy
a
called
tram.
Bob.
Just full of cud.
The trolley thing threw me.
Yeah.
Because it's an American
Yeah,
term for...
true. Yeah. So, but when I had to look that up because when I watched the movie, I was like, oh fuck, that's the whole. Is he going to sacrifice one person? And you can see Riddick's really actually thinking about it for a little while, and he goes, "I'm going to need bigger bait."
Yeah.
And then I love the way he turns it on him. He's like, yeah, not a bad idea. Sacrifice one person.
Yeah, and also the fact that Jack, the girl, was like kind of idolizing the whole film, like with the goggles, and it was like Riddick was her/his hero.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of played into it. That's where you first see Riddick's actually got like a bit of a heart here.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's not as bad as what you want him, as what he wants you to think he is.
He is, in fact, I would say, an anti-hero.
Is he?
Yeah. You guys like anti-heroes much?
Fucking love him.
Thought you might.
Who doesn't? It's a great. It's like an all-time thing for films.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love an anti-hero?
Yeah, it is.
David Toohey loves a fucking anti-hero.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, I do too. And I made a list.
Did you?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got? This is your favourite anti-hero?
This is my favourite anti-heroes.
Favourite anti-hero movies or favourite anti-hero characters?
Characters. And this is one of those things where if you look at this too closely and you start to wonder what the fuck's wrong with yourself, because you're like, why have I got this list of these pieces of shit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like the one that I think ties in relatively well. So Mad Max.
Yep.
Right.
Great
Ties
one.
in with this.
Yep.
One Thunderdome. He went full vigilante.
Wait, did you say Beyond Thunderdome? That's not the good one, man.
No, I mentioned it because this.
Thank God.
Yeah, that was the tie-in. Was Beyond Thunderdome. Yeah, and Tina Turner.
That's the fourth best one.
Ike Turner is so he went full vigilante because they killed his family, but he shows heart.
Yeah.
Consistently shows heart. So he qualifies.
Yeah,
I reckon.
he just wants the fuel. He just wants the fuel, but there's more to it.
Yeah, and he'll save you. He'll save a life if he thinks a life is worth saving.
He will.
He'll go out of his way a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I've got the character's full name, but I'm just going to call him Defense.
Yes.
From Falling Down.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So this was one of my really early favourite movies.
Same.
This dude's clearly pretty mentally ill, right?
Yeah.
Like he's cooked.
Still rooting for him.
Yeah, but in a strange way. He's a sympathetic character.
And is there not a little bit of him in all of us?
That's the beautiful thing about
he's acting out.
He's acting out of a few fantasies that all of us,
absolutely.
You want to order breakfast and they're like it's a minute past 11 o'clock or whatever. You just want some change for the phone booth.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, you have to look that up.
Yeah.
But and you're rolling back prices to 1988 or whatever he does. And there's some little problematic parts in there, but he was the hero to a lot of frustrated shoppers and burger buyers and rate payers. V from V for Vendetta.
Yeah, great one.
Essentially a terrorist, right?
Yeah.
But the whole time, even he's even torturing Natalie Portman. Can't remember her character name, unfortunately. Throughout, he's mentally fucking her up, really badly. And you're still all the way through. It's an ambiguous enough. Is he good? Is he evil? I really like it.
You like a lot of his ideals.
No, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. There's a theme developing here a little bit with Defense and V for Vendetta, which brings me to Tyler Durden.
Yep. Classic.
Yep. Also, might not be completely sound mentally. Might be having a few dramas.
Also, like an interesting one because he's not real.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
He is the voice on your shoulder.
Yeah. He really, he kind of is, And probably one of the biggest and most famous ones and possibly one of the best performances of all time is Travis Bickle from Taxi Driver.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He's a stone cold psychopath, right?
Ultimate anti-hero.
Yeah. He
has to be on everyone's list.
During his one of his monologues, he's like, "Someday a real rain will come and wash this scum off the streets."
Yeah.
And he's just driving around watching people.
Jeez, you've got a common theme throughout yours.
This is what I was like. Holy shit! So I've got one to redeem myself a little bit later. But he is again. He's clearly pretty not well.
Yeah.
He arms himself pretty heavily and carries out vigilante justice.
Yeah.
But throughout the movie, somehow you're sympathising with him as well.
Yeah.
And the last one I thought I would just throw in there to try and make myself not seem like a complete psychopath. Han Solo.
Yeah.
He's just a bandit, and he just wants to get laid. And
I'll take that.
And he ends up doing some good things.
He's probably an anti-hero at the start.
Yeah, he's briefly anti-hero.
Yeah, and then
I
becomes a hero.
I just didn't want them all to be mass murderers and psychopaths, and I was really fucking stretching for someone. So I was like,
I guess that is a pretty good one.
Yeah. So that is my list, and that tells you a lot about me. for better or worse.
Yeah. Well, that's why these movies exist, because you're not alone.
Thank God.
There's a lot of us out there that love these characters for those reasons. Yeah.
So I've actually got a different list. I did have Travis Bickle as number 1, but I knew...
You're talking to me?
So,
oh, no.
I knew someone else would have him, so I'm going to take that away because he is the ultimate anti-hero. There's no one better than him.
Just on that, has there been a better performance in a movie? There might...
Yes.
Who?
Some motherfuckers are always trying to skate uphill. That has been a better...
What do you got? What's your list?
Okay, so number 5, a weird one. It's Quint from Jaws.
Yeah.
This guy is not a nice person, scratching on the nails. You shouldn't be rooting for him.
Gentlemen in the order.
Yeah. Water came out. So that one for me is really cool because he's a really complex character, and you end up rooting for him, and then he gets eaten.
Oh,
that's a shame. Spoiler alert. So number 4, I had Leon from The Professional.
Yeah.
Very good.
Slightly problematic again as well.
Yeah, it is. But he's an assassin with a heart of gold.
Really good movie though. Yeah.
So for the number 3, I had Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, very. He's not with it, but.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. I'm
not a hero.
I'm just not a huge fan of those movies, but I do like the idea of
80s classics.
Yeah. A little dated.
And then for number 2, I had Deadpool.
Yes.
I was always going to have fucking Deadpool in the list.
He's perfect.
He's the best modern one, surely.
Yeah.
And for number 1, because I am changing out Travis Bickle,
right,
I had Jules Winfield and Vincent Vega from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Because they're bad motherfuckers, but Jesus Christ, you get a little bit sad when Vincent gets it. Yeah. And you get a little real happy when Jules goes on his little journey.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's my 5, man. I didn't think you guys would expect that.
One
of Marvel characters I really wanted to chuck in there.
I like that the lists were pretty different because I got a couple of similarities with BJ. I had Michael Douglas in Falling Down as well, which it's just perfect. I had Ryan Gosling in Drive.
Yes,
he
was on my list, but
he was on my 10.
He represents a lot of these characters that I like, and that actual movie, the genre, that movie's in my top 10 of all time.
It's a movie I really mean to. I've really got to watch that.
He's
again
like
soon.
the kind of perfect stoic anti-hero with the dark past and he's kind of haunted.
Oh, isn't he just?
Yeah. But then at the same time, he will protect the weak. Or if anything he loves, you never want to cross his path. So he's just perfect in that.
Good gloves too.
Great jacket, man. I've got to get that fucking jacket one day. I had Kevin Costner's character in Waterworld.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, he's for me, a lot of those post-apocalyptic movies have a anti-hero as the main protagonist.
Yeah.
For me, he's like the quintessential. He's the perfect anti-hero. Very selfish. He's basically Mad Max, same character.
It's Mad Max.
It's the same character. He's after the water, and then the girl comes along with the map. It's still for selfish reasons, and then all of a sudden he learns to
drink his own pee.
He learns to drink his own pee. He learns to love again and compassion. And
I hadn't even considered it, but it's perfect.
That's very
good. So the other one I had, this is a bit of a cheat because it's actually 2 different actors and 2 different characters, but playing the same character. So it's
I know where you're going, I think.
Patrick Swayze in Point Break and Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious. So they're the same movie, right? Point Break and Fast and Furious.
Right.
Yeah. And
that's why I don't like either of them.
Really? Fuck.
Do you not like Point Break?
Nah.
You're the other one.
Yeah.
You're the other one.
I knew you didn't. This is shocking me that you don't.
I did.
Patrick Swayze in Point Break and Vin Diesel in Fast and Furious playing almost the exact same character. It's a bit of a tricky one, and this is why I find those 2 movies very interesting, is because you're not only rooting for Patrick Swayze and Vin Diesel, you're also rooting for the police that are trying to capture them.
Yeah.
So you're also going for Paul Walker and Keanu Reeves at the same time.
Gary Busey for me.
It's very rare in a movie,
Yeah.
which is also why I'd consider them 2 of the greatest action films ever made. And I mean that.
You know what? I'm back in. I'm back in.
Yeah.
Fuck, you can sell.
Thank you. Just perfect, character writing.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you have it so you've got the villain and the hero, and you want them both to win equally?
Yeah.
Sound like The Fugitive.
And very likable characters.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Fugitive, big time.
And then I had Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt in Fight Club, just a kind of obvious one. He wants the world to burn, and like halfway through the movie, you're like, fuck, so do I.
Yeah. This is your life. This is your life. It's ending 1 minute
with
at a
this
time.
guy. So that was my 5. I just wanted a special mention, if I'm allowed to have 30 more seconds. I wanted to special mention Ben Affleck as an actor. He's basically made a career out of being an anti-hero. So this is just a few, but if you go through his IMDb, he's always an anti-hero. I actually think he's a bit of an anti-hero in real life. So he's got The Town.
I knew that was going to be the first one you mentioned.
He's got The Accountant.
Yeah, I knew that
that's
was
a great movie.
Yeah, he's got Live by Night, which not a lot of people have seen, but it's a biopic where he's a gangster. It's in Prohibition era. It's actually an amazing film. No one saw it.
I watched it, didn't like it. I rewatched it, fucking loved it.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. 2017. It's not very old. Yeah, it's pretty new. Live by Night, Triple Frontier, which was the Netflix one from a year or two ago. Yeah. Once again, like no one saw it. Really underrated, phenomenal movie. The Way Back, where he's the basketball, the alcoholic basketball coach, anti-hero again.
Yeah, true.
He's made a career out of being an anti-hero. So I just wanted to shout him out. I didn't want to single out one of his characters because I think they're all kind of in the same zone.
That's right.
And that's what I had.
It's not a bad list at all.
No,
good list. Some great lists.
And
obviously Taxi Driver, I didn't mention it either because I was like, well, we're all just going to have that number one.
Yeah,
I'm actually surprised no one went Scarface.
I don't consider him an anti-hero.
Oh, okay.
It's just I can't do that.
Yeah. Isn't that the dream though? He's the American dream and all that sort of stuff.
All that cocaine.
Yeah, that's it's a dream.
Not your dream, but it's the fantasy.
I was like, you know me so well.
Fantasy. Yeah.
So I reckon that about wraps up Pitch Black.
Yeah, I think it does.
I would like to just close my thoughts with saying it has held up relatively well considering 20 plus years, small budget. But again, the common theme across movies that have held up over time and that elevate it slightly above, like I was saying about Olympus Has Fallen, could have been Schluck.
Yep.
Could have been Schlock. Could have been one of the Schlucks. I don't know what I'm saying anymore.
Are you doing an Austin Powers character?
I hate Austin Powers so much. That dental work has really knocked me around. It got elevated above Schmaltz and stuff because of good writing, a couple of good little aspects in terms of clever making of the film, and the effects held up really, really well because I reckon they funneled their money to where, for the most part, where it should go, and it brought us Vin Diesel. So that's all you really need to know about
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for bringing us to him.
Yeah.
I had my final thoughts are kind of, I don't know what genre this movie is, and I'm glad we didn't really get into it because we have fallen into that trap before with Unhinged, where is it a horror, is it a thriller, is it a whatever. But whatever it is, like that kind of horror, thriller, sci-fi, creature movie, this for me is like as good as those movies get, and I mean that in a good way because I'm a huge fan of those movies, and this I'd put like right up there at the very top in terms of creature, horror, sci-fi, action thrillers. I can ignore the kind of weird colour filters we touched on and like the poor visual effects and some of the questionable acting from the Australians in the film, besides Radha Mitchell, she was great, purely because the writing, the tempo, the creatures themselves, the sets I thought were really great, and all the characters obviously, which we've spoken about at length, are kind of perfect for this genre of movie. Like that's exactly to your point.
Yeah.
It's above every other movie in this wheelhouse. Cole Hauser and Radha Mitchell were really convincing, I thought.
Yeah.
Like really good
Both
cast.
really good,
in the kind of supporting roles. And then when it came time for Vin Diesel, it was just clear the fucking lane.
Yeah.
This is a superstar in
Hero
the making.
ball.
Yeah. Let Vin Diesel just do his fucking thing.
Yep.
Yeah. If anyone else tried, I kind of mentioned this before, but if anyone else attempted to play Riddick or did it now, it just comes across as kind of corny or cheesy, but Vin Diesel somehow nails that, and that's fucking cool to watch.
Yeah.
I'll watch that. Like, I'll rewatch it all the time. Love it. In summary, I'm not sure I'll watch this again for a while because some of the production choices, so some of the editing and the filters, things like that, haven't aged that well for me, but I thoroughly enjoyed revisiting this, and I was like 100% engaged with this movie from start to finish. And I was very tired when I put it on. I put it on at like 10:30 last night after not a heap of sleep the night before, and I need to watch it before the pod. And I was just bang, I'm in this world. I was really into it. I give it a 76. And for anyone who disagrees, I'll get so close to your face I'm in your blind spot, and then I'll just whisper, "You're wrong."
feel really bad. Because I watched this, I think, yesterday, and like I said, it's an hour before it gets dark. And sure, it's hot, sun, but it needed to be dark. All the visual great scenes happened in the dark. So I thought they could have made the dark a bit longer. But in doing this podcast, because I don't do notes. It's a well-known fact.
Yeah.
So before I was heading into this podcast, I was going to go 51. But just talking about these scenes, talking about all the things, realizing how good the character development is. Like every character has a great backstory apart from the fodder and cud. But every character is so complex, and just talking about it and reliving the nostalgia I have for these Riddick movies, not just this one, the other two.
Yeah.
But in saying that, it is my third favorite pitch. Perfect movie.
Just happened.
In saying that, it is a really good movie. Like, I had a low score, but just talking about the scenes, realizing, oh shit, and then, I got him versed a bit more. So for me, I'm going to give the movie 69.
Great.
Nice.
Which is, just what the pod's for, listening, reliving. And
you get a bit excited and you realise, fuck, that was actually really good.
I was 50-50, but 69, friends.
69.
Nice.
So
You didn't give a number,
completely neglected to give a score. I'm giving it 78.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you got a 78, 76, 69. That's the most we've all agreed.
Yep, much like you, really enjoyed it. Glad I chose it. Hadn't watched it for a long time. Don't need to watch it again for a long time. If I didn't have to use my minimal spare time to watch whatever fucking movie you choose next to foist on me,
Yes.
I'd probably just work my way through the series now.
Yeah.
Like the next movie I watch would probably be... I just don't have much time, Ken.
Just get a little less sleep, man. What are you doing, 9 hours a night?
Let's not talk about my sleep habits. Anyway. So, 78.
Yeah, very good. I love that.
Great.
Love it all.
So what I've got now is some fresh mail.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be mail when this song's done. So send your shit in, and the best ones get read out.
Very good.
Fucking bravo.
So this one is from a Michael McLean. He says, Arvo gents. This must be from last week because he's got great pod this week with Olympus Has Fallen. And then in quotations, Gerald at the top of his game. Really enjoying listening to the pod each week. Thank you, Michael. We do it for you.
Just seems
Makes it all worthwhile.
Certainly not for our own entertainment. So he's got a question for the group. After reviewing a decent amount of films now with some mixed opinions, how do you think your movie ritual affects your opinion at the time? Are you a Sunday arvo with a popcorn guy, a late night with a whiskey guy? What is your movie ritual, and does it affect your opinions? Keep up the good work, lads. Michael McLean. He's also included his phone number here, which I might just read out now as well. That's like a work phone number. Go.
There's no doubt that the headspace that you go and expectation you go into a movie affects it. So
100%.
First thing to try and do is to reset a little bit and to try to not be too biased in any particular way. In terms of actual ritual, I'd love to say that I'm lying in a banana lounge being fanned by concubines who peeling grapes and feeding them to me, but all I need is just to be left the fuck alone for a couple of hours, please, so that I can immerse myself in the movie as much as possible. That's about it, really. I've got my spot on the couch. Upgraded the couch relatively recently. Went for exactly the same shape so that I can wear that rut back in there again. There is a BJ.
Takes years to get that.
It was pretty comfortable. I've fallen asleep there more times than I care to admit. I'm just, as long as I'm comfortable, temperature's moderate. I'd love to say I've got some massive banging home cinema system, but I just don't. I've got a decent TV, a decent couch. But for me, it's more about just making sure that I'm not letting too much expectation get in the way of what I'm about to watch. If possible. Good. It's hard. Yeah. It's really difficult. But that's really about it for me.
Yeah, cool.
And
that's a pretty good ritual.
And I like to be hydrated.
Okay. Yeah. Just like a cordial?
I like a bit of lemon cordial.
Okay, that's good. What do I do? Yeah, I probably have... Yeah, I definitely have a ritual. Well, he's definitely right in the fact that it does affect my opinion, because I have a specific ritual that when I watch movies, and then if I watch a movie from outside of that ritual, then I don't have the same experience at all. I'm nowhere near as immersed. I'm nowhere near as engaged, and it affects my opinion of the movie, which I think after doing Demolition Man, I spoke about that, how I watched it on a Sunday morning, which is just bizarre. I haven't watched a movie in the day for a long time. And, yeah, sure enough, it was just a kind of different experience. I don't know whether it was just like not as good a movie as what I thought it was going to be or whether it was that. But I like same as BJ, I do like my space. I like... These days, I put the noise-cancelling headphones in because I got 2 kids in the house, so I can't crank the home theatre anymore. And I usually have a little tipple of whiskey, and it's usually late at night that I'm usually starting the movie at about 10 o'clock. That tends to be when I can immerse myself the best. I'm done with the day. I can shut off and just go bang. And that is my preferred film watching. And that also, I will go back a bit. It does depend on the movie, because if it's a movie that I know my wife won't want to watch, which is a lot of them, which I'm sure you're looking at.
Separate
the
rooms, the secret to a happy marriage.
So then that's my one. But if it's something she's interested in, then we get out the snacks and cheeses and salamis and all that sort of shit. And,
tapas platter.
Yeah, and then that's a whole different viewing experience, but just as enjoyable, if not more.
Does she listen? She listens, doesn't she? what a kiss ass.
What do you got, Duff?
I can't remember. For me, I've got 2 different rituals, I think. There's one where if I'm rewatching something I know I love, like for instance, I'll mention Predator. If I'm watching that, I'm getting beers deep, and my ritual is to just get beers deep. But there's another drunk ritual. If I'm watching with my wife a new movie, she'll have wine, we'll have beers, and I will literally plan the night involving me drinking. So I'm just like you guys. I need a nice space. I'll watch a movie during the daytime. Doesn't bother me at all.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm a day walker.
Completely different.
Yeah. I'll watch a movie 24/7. I wish that was my job. So if anyone's got a job out there and want to watch a movie 24/7, hit me up. And
start getting paid for this podcast.
Yeah, I think
we monetizing.
Yeah,
sweet.
I think I don't really have a perception of a movie. When I go into it, I can always watch it fresh, so it doesn't really affect.
That's weird because you are someone who knows what's upcoming and all that sort of stuff. You got your finger on the pulse.
Yeah.
So can you just reset?
I can switch it off. Yeah, I think I can just immerse myself unless I don't want to. Mall rats struggled to get past that.
Yeah. What I'm talking about is when you're going in fresh, if you're watching something for the first time, you're the guy that'll be like, what's coming up, who's in it, blah, blah, blah.
You kind of got an expectation.
Yeah. I know nothing about anything when it comes to So I'm always a blank
slate. If
slate.
I'm really excited for a movie, I won't look it up. I won't watch the trailer. I won't just shit
I respect that.
I'll watch nothing but Dune. And then I watched it and was like, Jesus Christ, number one for me.
That's the most discipline you show in your life at all.
Yeah. So, I don't really have a ritual. I have.
Well, you kind of do, yeah. You just got 2 different ones, depending on similar to me, depending on the movie, I think, for me, yeah.
If I wanted,
if your wife wants to watch, you kind of know what a certain type of movie she wants to watch, yeah. And then you have a whole different night.
Yeah.
I like that.
Good question.
Yeah, I think most of us would have that, like 2 different types of movies. Yeah. You've got the social movie, which is when like friends or partner or whatever, and then you've got the alone time, which is you and your Olympus Has Fallen for the 3rd time this month.
Your sad sips of whiskey.
And watching Liam Neeson's The Grey for the 19th time.
So we don't have any new top fans to announce this week, so share. We really appreciate everyone who's still doing it.
Yeah.
But please,
support's been great.
Get involved. We love the banter. I'm super, super impressed by some of the knowledge of the people who are commenting on our posts. I feel inadequate as fuck.
Yeah.
But thanks.
We're doing it off the cuff. They got time to Google. Let's give ourselves a break here, right?
No, it just goes to show that we're reaching the people that know what they're talking about better than we do, and we appreciate that.
I'd like to shout out to Neil Lang, who gave us his top 5 I think it was terrorist movies.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I haven't seen that.
I like to thank him for that.
Yeah, love that.
Do you have that on hand?
Listeners, feel free to give us your thoughts. Tell us we're wrong, and here's my top 5. Because Neil's all his top 5 doesn't mention anything.
Yeah, great.
We mentioned. He was really angry we didn't mention Speed, though we talked about it in general discussion.
Yeah. Can you give Neil my number? Because I think we should be best friends.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's good.
So, let's put the people out of their suspenseful misery. Ken, you got a movie for us for the next episode. What are we doing?
Yes, I have. And it's funny, actually, because you brought up the director earlier in this podcast, and I started tingling when you said it. It's a Danny Boyle film I'm going to do The Beach.
Oh, it's on my list.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
All right. I'm going to do The Beach, man.
Wow, controversial.
Haven't seen it for a long time.
No.
Yeah.
I think I've seen it once and fucking hated it.
It's
Hey,
such
that's
a
great.
It's
That's
a
actually
the podcast
perfect.
is here.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh.
It's a polarizing film.
Fuck yeah, hugely.
But Leo, right?
Leo,
And
Danny Boyle.
I was getting worried that I was pigeonholing myself as the shoot 'em up action guy with Gone in 60 Seconds, Olympus Has Fallen, etc. So I wanted to branch out a little bit, do something a little bit different.
I'm excited.
I think The Beach ticks those boxes.
Yeah, it does.
So yeah,
a lot to talk about with that movie. I'm
Wicked.
very excited.
All right, that's great.
Call.
Cool. Look forward to it.
I said, goddamn, what a brush.
Catch us all next week.
Bye.
This has been The Redeemables.
All you people are so scared of me. Most days I take that as a compliment. But it ain't me you gotta worry about now.
Show me your eyes, Riddick.
You'd have to come a lot closer for that. Closer.
Where the hell can I get eyes like that?
Gotta kill a few people.
Okay, I can do it.
Then you gotta get sent to a slam where they tell you you'll never see daylight again. You dig up a doctor, and you pay him 20 menthol cools to do a surgical shine job on your eyeballs.
So you can see who's sneaking up on you in the dark.
Exactly.